What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up,
When you
you
gonna let me do
guys?
the what's up? Why you gotta do it all the time first?
Because it's not you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to do it.
What's up, you guys? Happy midday explosion. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you are ready to go. Antonia and I are going to dig in and talk about mindset today. So I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm pumped. I'm ready.
I need you to like, share, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to YouTube. If you are on Facebook, make sure you like and share. Others who need to get their mind right for the new year need to make sure they stay motivated, make sure they stay focused. Let's get into it, you guys. Y'all ready?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Drop this in your groups now.
Drop it in your groups. Let's go.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Can I ban you?
You can't ban me, bro. I'm the snowman.
Can I ban
you? Can't
you?
ban the snowman.
Can I ban you? I just want to know if I could ban you.
You can't ban the snowman.
Y'all cannot ban him.
What's up, y'all, man? It's hump day. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to provide some energy. What you doing?
I have our Instagram followers on too.
Well, you might as well just prop them up, bro.
I need to prop them up. All right, yeah, I'll prop them up.
We here. We locked in. How y'all doing today? Who we got on the call with us today? I seen Miss Harris comment. She got to get back to that section where I can see it. Did that link work for you, Miss Harris? The funding.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Did that Latoya?
Latanya.
FYI, if anybody ever meet me and I say your name wrong, I spell it wrong, I don't spell, I count.
I am the speller, so absolutely.
I don't spell, I count. So if don't take it personal. And did that link work for you, Miss Harris? Let me know.
Y'all let me know who let me know who's all
where
here.
Where you from? Talk to
me.
Where
you from? Let us
know
who
what
we have.
What direction we need to go right now.
Today is a high energy day, so we need you to stay in high energy. We need constant feedback from you, so drop it in the chats. Let us know.
Yes.
Where you are, where you from.
What?
Good. I'm so happy it worked for you. Absolutely.
Now me asking how much you got.
Did you do the pre-approval?
Okay, that was a better question.
Did you do the pre-approval? All right, I see.
So for people who don't know what we're talking about, Ms. Harris was on the Midday Explosion. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
2 days ago, and Mr. Darius gave us a link to get some funding. So if you thinking about you need some funding, you can get some funding with this link. It's a soft pull. We'll talk about it later. But if you need to see it, go to our YouTube channel, The Denmarks. Check it out. Don't forget to subscribe.
Absolutely. All right. So Instagram, we got somebody from Hoover in Instagram. Where y'all from? Why y'all quiet today? I see
What's
y'all.
Up, Wosa?
What's up?
Bigger than big. Bigger than big, man.
All right. So today is, hey, Cindy. Today is absolutely high energy. So I need to know where you at, where you're from. And we got Tallahassee, Florida in the place. Okay. For those of you who are on IG, You can also watch this on our YouTube live channel, or you can stay on IG. We will be on IG the whole time today too, just in case, just so you can do it.
All right. I got something that you didn't even notice out of 8 of these 6, 7, 8 of these episodes. We don't never introduce ourselves.
I am Ashley Denmark.
I am Antonio Denmark.
Absolutely. I guess I assume that whoever's following, they know us.
That's not Absolutely. A good thing to assume.
It's not. So we've been investing in real estate since April of 2009. We have done over 150 deals when it comes to real estate investing. We have done everything from fix and flip, subject twos, wholesaling, lease options, lease purchase. Am I missing anything?
Subject to
owner finance, selling and buying of notes. So
we got all that good stuff on that bill.
We have done quite a few things. So I'm so happy you guys are here today. I'm so happy you guys are in the place. Let's go. You ready to get in?
Let's go, man. What you got for them up top?
All right. So a lot of people ask us, like, what does it take to really do real estate? What does it take to be a small business owner? What does it take to be a business owner?
I'm gonna cut you off.
Okay.
All right. Let's go, Pauline.
What's up, Pauline?
I need y'all to tell me some of them goals, man. Some of them.
What's your 2023 goals?
2023 goals. 2023 things we're gonna change. Tell me some of them things so we can know that we on the same page and we all trying to get better. If it's too personal, you can just say, hey, it's a little personal. It's all good with me. But we want to kind of know what some of the things you want to do. I want to buy my first investment property in 2023. I want to buy my 10th investment property. Hey, I don't know what you want to do. I want to buy a multi-family. Kind of tell us what y'all want to do in 2023. I want to do a trucking business. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, drop it in the chat. And we want to talk about it. We want to look at it. What's up, Michael? All right, chat put, I want to buy my first investment.
That's real. That's doable. That's really doable.
Absolutely.
I done talked to you already, Chad. So I doubt it takes another 60 days for you to get your property. Okay.
Pauline said she want to buy her first property by May 2023 and sell it by December. Absolutely. In fact, I want you to get it before May. I need you to get it by March.
Ooh, you pressure. Push it, P. Ooh, you pressure.
Now, Pauline, I'm serious. I want you to get it by March.
Pauline got a strategy call coming up. You can tell her.
Yeah, I need you to get it by March. Latonya says, I would like to make at least 6 deals in 2023 at 200,000 by the end of the year. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Big boy dream. Your big boy.
Let's go.
Let's go. You gotta put that work in.
Listen, I can't wait to meet you at the conference.
Yeah, I feel like we know you already.
Yes, so. I can't. I need you to come up to me. I need you to tell me who you are, and I want to help you get to those dreams. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please don't touch it.
All right, I'll leave stuff around.
Thank you. All right. What other dreams do you guys have? What goals do you have that you know you want to accomplish in 2023? Don't be afraid to throw it in the chat. I think it's important to really say your goals, say it to people so that you can work out the kinks. You will hear a lot of people say, oh, I like to move in silence. I like to move quietly. I don't want to tell anyone, but I feel like that's where you go wrong. What's for you is for you. No one can take it. Okay. Understand that.
Real.
And the reason why you go wrong is because you're not able to maneuver, work out the kinks. Because yes, it's a goal, but you don't know what you don't know. All right, let's just make that completely clear. You don't know what you don't know until you get there. And you saying it out loud will actually help someone else tie in those pieces. Like they'll help you tie in those pieces to really complete it. So don't hold it in, don't hide it. They may be working on something similar and you maybe can collaborate on it. You maybe can join in. You always got to tell people what you're doing, collaborate with others and talk about it because it really helps with identifying the kinks that are in it that you don't see right now.
All right. Yes.
Put Start Turo, put out a children's book, and 2x to 3x her 2022 income. Let's go.
All right. So we got three basic points.
Right here.
I'm sorry. We got three basic points we want to kind of talk about to help accomplish those goals. The first thing we want to talk about is who's in your circle. Who are you around? I think it's so important to analyze your circle. And when I say circle, I'm not just talking about friends. You don't want to hear it. Don't talk about family.
Absolutely.
Who in your ear? Who talking to you? And are they feeding you fear? Are they feeding you faith? So you really need to analyze that. And if you're not around the right people, you need to get around the right people.
You know, you made a post on that a few days ago. It was really like, ooh, he didn't do that, did he?
Yes.
But it's so important. If you have a goal and your goal is to, and I'm just going to be hypothetical because I see some goals right here. So I'm going to give you some of your goals. Your goal is to buy your first investment property, but the people you're talking to never bought an investment property. Then you can't let that feed into you because for one, they're going to feed you doubt because they've never experienced what you're trying to do. So you got to really find yourself a circle who have accomplished those goals and beyond so that you can be challenged. Your first investment property, absolutely. But guess what? After that, you got to rinse and repeat it. You got to buy more. You got more because that's what's important when it comes to feeding your brain and feeding what's inside of you.
I don't know who I heard it from, but you got to stop letting people cast their fears on you because they couldn't do it. Because they couldn't buy that first investment property, because they couldn't start that two-year-old business, because they couldn't get $200,000 in income. They cast them fears on you. So they cast their fears and their doubts on you. So you got to make sure that you are putting nothing but good information in your head.
Yes.
Jay-Z, see, I want to give somebody some credit. I ain't know where I get it from, but I appreciate that.
What's up, Miss Hardy?
You can't let them cast their fears on you, man. It's not their vision. You got to make sure that you are around people that's going to help you. I will say that for our journey coming up, we stayed around people that was feeding us, that some people took. And I'm not saying everybody is a taker, but we are strategic about that balance. We are going to make sure that we are around people that feed us. Like I can tell you from a standpoint of just a personal story, we having a conference at the end of January. That is not my vision. That ain't even my faith. I ain't even gonna tell you that was a part of Antonio's thought. But shout out to my coach Brian Tripp. He put that in me. He breathed that life into me a year ago. And at that point, it was like a year and it was like, nah, man, that ain't us, man. We can't do that, man. That's too big for us. He like, no. You can do it.
You have to think differently. You have to have different goals and aspirations. And one thing I can say is, and this comes from Brian as well, you feel like that goal that you have is so big until you reach it and you find out that you're at the bottom. You're at the top.
Let me help you out.
You're at the bottom of the hill.
Let me help you out. And Brian likes to say this. We like to say this too. Whenever you reach the top of a hill, understand that's the bottom of another mountain.
There we go. That's what I was trying to say.
I know, but we connected, baby. Give me some. So understand, the higher you go, the more there is to go.
Yes.
So you just can't let that goal you reach, you be satisfied with. And to the point of him breathing that to us and he feeding that to us, he got you. He fed that our lives. Because that was nowhere near our radar. He fed coaching into our lives. We did not want to coach.
Absolutely. Like we talked about it in the past, and it was just like, nah, I don't think that's for us. No. It wasn't even a maybe in the future. It was no.
That's not a part of our plan. But being around the right people.
Being exposed. Exposure is so important. Being exposed to so many different things, so many different avenues, so many different people, so many different cultures. It really opens up your mind and it opens up to what you can. And I'm not going to say what you can't do, because what you can and what you can do. So get into exposures, get into different rooms, get into different conversations that challenge the way you've been raised, the way you've been taught, so that you can really grow.
All right.
So Tanya said, a man and woman think in their heart, so is he or she.
Let's go.
As absolutely, as a man thinketh, definitely. That's one of my favorite books.
I'm done with point one. You want to talk about point one? I'll go on to point two.
What was point two? Because you just looked, I didn't.
So, point two was, what are you reading?
What are you guys reading? Like, a good way to get out of your current zone, get out of your current influence that's really bringing you down is reading things, learning from other people, because that is a good way to get exposure. Most people, when they read a book, they don't finish it. Just in total transparency, most people are going to start it or they're going to buy it. It's going to look really good. But what are you reading? What are you reading that's really getting into in your brain and really breathing life into you?
What are you reading, Angela?
Ooh, all right. So what I'm reading right now, I'm reading two books right now. One book that I'm reading is by Russell Brunson. How many of you, if you know who Russell Brunson is, throw a fire in the chat. Throw a fire in the chats if you know who Russell Brunson is.
Or if you're reading a book right now, drop that book in there. The last book you read, drop it in there.
Absolutely. So listen, Russell Brunson really talks about building a community, building your relationships with other people, collaborating and working together. He also talks about how he did what he did when it came to creating funnels that really changed the game. So how to create things that really help others and change the game. Another book that I read that had a major influence on me was E-Myth. I remember reading E-Myth as we were going on a trip we were going to the cabins that year. We were going on a trip to the cabins. Yeah, we were going on a trip to the cabins, and I read E-Myth. And what was crazy about E-Myth at that time, I knew systems was important, but implementing them for real estate was totally different for me. So E-Myth is by Michael Gerber.
Yeah, I was going to say Robert.
So I was reading E-Myth, and E-Myth really helped me dial into, okay, what does my systems look like so that I can get out of my business? Because if I'm working in it every day, if I'm doing it every day, and I'm not doing income producing tasks, because that's what we talk about. If I'm not doing income producing tasks, that's the problem. E-Myth really laid down the foundation to being able to scale and get out of our business so that we can work on the business.
To piggyback off her in that book, out of the whole book, I remember one thing he said that was profound to me.
What was it?
He said that you should be able to create systems, processes, and procedures so that a 9-year-old can execute it. And we was like, ooh, that's deep. So he was like, however many steps it takes to break it down to where a 9-year-old understand what you're doing in your business, how to do it. Mm-hmm. That's when you can build a system where you can remove yourself. And it was like, wow. Because a lot of times we just give the what to do. We don't give the why. We don't even give all the steps to do it. And it's not until you put it on paper that you realize, oh, it's a lot of little steps that I do
that you didn't take, that you took
didn't even take into account. So that was the main thing I took from that book. I would say one of the best books that I've recently read is Who Not How. And what that book talks about is not trying to always ask yourself how to do something. How do I start a t-shirt business? How do I start a Turo business? How do I start in real estate? We have to stop asking ourselves, how do we do that? We got to start asking ourselves, who can help us execute that already have knowledge in that field?
Absolutely.
How do I write a book? I don't want to know how to write a book. I want to go partner with somebody that already has written 100 books, that know how to expedite the process, that can get me straight to the goal right now. There is no learning curve. They already experienced the learning curve. It might mean losing a little profit, but at the same time, it's expedited. It's going on to the next level. And we know it's going to be good because they've already done that. So one thing from our personal side,
I'm pulling up that book for you, Latanya. It's called Expert Secrets: The Underground Playbook by Russell Brunson.
Okay. The one thing where it helped me was we do a lot of rehabs, and I don't have a builder's license, so I always had in my back of my head that one day I'm gonna go get my builder's license because I need to pull permits and things of that nature. But reading that book, it changed my mindset.
It did.
I stopped asking myself, how do I get my builder's license, and started asking myself, who has a builder's license already that I can partner with or I can hire. So I went out and hired a project manager with a builder's license. So while I've been doing real estate 10 plus years, always in the back of my mind about getting a builder's license, that one book, boom, it changed. Immediately it clicked. I don't need to get my builder's license. I need to find somebody who already has their builder's license.
And partner with them.
Partner or hire them. Mm-hmm. So that's a good book to read if you're trying to quickly escalate what you got going on or what you're doing.
Absolutely. We talk about this book all the time, so if you haven't read it, and no, we do not get any affiliates just for dropping these books. These are books that have really changed our lives. The book that changed our lives together was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. For so long, I remember growing up and thinking that every time we bought a new car, that car was an asset. And Robert Kiyosaki really challenged that, because in the book he says, like, your car is actually a liability.
Yes.
It's an asset. Unless you are using Turo for it, unless you are Ubering, your car is really a liability and not an asset. And he really started to like really shift my mind and say, okay, all these assets that they tell you when you're filling out the financial statement that it's an asset is really a liability at the end of the day.
That ain't the biggest one though.
What's the biggest one?
The biggest one when that boy said, your house is a liability.
Your house is a liability.
I say, oh, don't touch my soul like that.
Because we focus so much on the American dream, and not saying you shouldn't own your own house, but understand that if your house is not making you any money, it's a liability. Anything that doesn't make you money and is taking you money is a liability.
It's taking money.
It's taking money. Yeah. Money. It's taking money from you. It's taking money from you.
Yes.
Is a liability.
So definitely and not saying you're not going to have liabilities. The key to it is, if you do have liabilities, if you do have to finance that house, if you do have to finance that car, buy assets that's going to bring you cash flow to pay for those items. So understand that's a different mindset, and that's how wealthy people think. You're going to have some liability sometimes. But if you want to go on those trips or those excursions or buy those luxury items,
let your assets take you there. Let your assets afford them. Let your assets pay down the down payment for it. Let your assets dictate when it is you buy the next car.
Yes.
When it is that you buy, you go on that trip. Let your assets be the one that take it. Don't let it come from your normal expenses. Let it be
how much money you making.
Yes.
Your assets dictate what that liability looks like, not how much money you making.
Absolutely. Pauline says she wants to read 4 Agreements and Habits. When you gonna read it? Let's set a date, Pauline. Let's set a date. You just read You're a Badass at Making Money in December. How was that? I haven't read that yet.
That sounds good.
Another book that really changed my mind, that really changed my life from a woman's perspective. As a woman, we have to be superwoman sometimes. So we have to be super mom, super wife, super daughter, super sister, super cook, super teacher.
All right. We understand. We get the point.
No, I got to make sure I tell you all of them so you can remember. And we have to really do a lot of things that shouldn't be required sometimes, but we do it gracefully, and we do it without a problem, as well as you got to be a super boss. All right. So the book that really changed my mind, it really took me, I remember, before I tell you the book, I remember I would have a girls' lunch with 2 of my friends. Shout out to Miss Bailey and Miss Simmons. And we would have
COVID
lunch.
just killed that.
COVID did. We got to get back up. And we would have lunch. And the thing that was so amazing about this lunch was it was, what's up, Byron?
What's up, Byron?
It was businesswoman. It was business women who were all married, all with kids, and we were owners of our businesses. But we still needed to come together for some girl time. We needed to come together for some me time, and it always ended up being some business time too, but just collaborating. What are you using? What are you doing? What's working in your life? What's not working in your life? What can I do to help? How can I help? Just a really good bonding experience. And I remember one of them saying, I had to get a nanny, and I'm just like, you got a nanny? I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about someone coming into my house, is what I would say. And it's all about who you with. Who are you with? And I'm like, well, I got too many kids. I don't know if that's safe. I don't know. And she's like, well, we have cameras up in every room at all different angles so we can see it at all times. I'm like, okay. We have someone that comes in that cooks. We have someone that comes in and wash dishes. Now, ladies, how many of you would really enjoy if you could really focus on your business, you can really focus on your self-development, and someone came in and washed the dishes for you, or at least loaded them in the dishwasher, or they picked up your kids from school? So at that point, I was just like, oh, well, that's something to think about. And when I read Rachel Rogers' book, I was like, oh, I'm thinking too small. I need a driver. I need someone that I can hire full-time on staff, but be my personal assistant, not a virtual assistant. And I need someone that can pick up the kids. They can do the ins and outs that need to be done. So watch who you're around. Watch what you're putting in your brain, because as you're exposed to new different things, then you realize that there's no limitations. The only limitations are the limitations that you set on yourself. So don't set any limitations. Don't say, well, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this. This is too much. No, your brain is literally a muscle. All right. So the more you work and exercise that muscle, the stronger it becomes, the more it does things naturally.
You're skipping over.
I'm moving into that.
I had something else to say.
I'm sorry. But it's literally a muscle. What you had to say?
Only thing I was going to say is I watch more videos than I read. So however you get the information, just get it. Just make sure that you are putting good things in your head and that you are not feeding negativity. Listening to rap music all day is feeding yourself negativity.
I mean, unless you got some positive rap music.
Listening to the regular rap music that I think most people listen to, not gospel rap, not 90. What's our radio station?
95.7.
95.7 music. I mean, that's garbage, man. You're putting garbage in your mind, man.
Absolutely.
You got to use that time wisely in the car to listen to a video, listen to an audio book, listen to a podcast, man. Let's fill all of that free time with information and growth.
And understand that we are in January of 2023. That is what's going to carry you through December 2023. What you're feeding yourself, what you're putting in your brain, and what are you doing to execute? You can do everything as far as making sure you're around the right company, making sure your company is feeding you positive vibes, making sure that it's a growing environment and they're basically enhancing what you know and teaching you even more. You can be reading books and expounding your knowledge, but if you don't put things into action, then you'll always be on the sideline.
Yes.
So all of that is great. You can have analysis paralysis and never actually get the job done. You got to put in some work. There's going to be grind. There's going to be hustle.
Oh.
There's going to be grind. There's going to be hustle, and you got to do it.
And at least for a season.
Definitely.
That's the one thing our coach kind of teaches. There might be a season for grinding, and that's okay. But understand it's only for a season. And if you grind right and you understand business, it ain't a lifestyle of grinding. I don't work hard. I don't go to houses and work hard every day. I make more money now than I did back then. I thought I was making more money, but I wasn't. So understand that there is a season of grind, but also you got to be able to set things up and go. Before you get to point 3, share this with your groups, man. If you like what you're seeing. Don't be a hoard of information, man. We're here to help everybody. So make sure you share, put it in your groups. The third point is,
I already said the third point, but one thing I want to add, because Antonio keeps saying his coach. Understand that you never stop learning. All right. You get your bachelor's, you get your master's, you get your doctorate, but you never stop learning in life.
You got a doctor.
I don't have all of that. But for real, you never stop learning. And I say this to say,
what you got?
have people. What?
I'm like, you don't use it, so
I use mine every day.
All right.
Okay. So to my point, you never stop learning. All right. There should always be a grind for learning as you embark different seasons and new territory. Someone should be coaching you along the way. I have never heard a coach that didn't have a coach. Michael Jordan, as great as he was, he had a
coach.
LeBron James, as great as he is, he has a what?
Coach.
So it does not matter who you are, what you're doing. You need a support system. You need a coach. And I'm proud to say, when Rowdy was on here earlier this week, was Rowdy was last week. When Rowdy
the Rehab Depot
was on here last week, Rowdy was our rehab coach. Rowdy's our rehab coach. That's who we go to for rehab problems, for rehab questions. Brian Tripp is one of our coaches. Tom Crow, he's one of our coaches. Ramon Toots, he's one of our coaches. So you have to have a coach, all right? And then you have a coach for different things.
I was just gonna say that.
Okay.
We cheat because we get multiple coaches at the same time. We don't just have like one coach. So like a lot of times y'all see like we doing stuff or we moving or it might seem good and you might think we came up with it. And we just listening to our coaches.
We're just following the foundations. We're following the blueprint that was given to us. And what we do is we share it with you guys. That's what we do.
Yep. You finna say something? I cut you.
I don't know. You took me off. But a coach, you got to have a coach. So when you hear Tanya saying a coach, yes, we really have coaches.
Yeah.
All right. We really have coaches. And then we have mentors. We have friends that we know have experienced more than we've experienced. And when we get to that point, because sometimes we feel like quitting sometimes too.
Yes.
In total transparency.
Yes.
When we feel like giving up,
yes.
Hopefully the good thing about being a partner,
having an accountability partner,
is that usually when I feel bad, Antonio's like, no, we don't stop here. We gotta go. And when it's vice versa, I'm like, we gotta go. And when we both down, we gotta lean on Yasmin, and Yasmin like, hey, dragging us like, no, we still going. We still going. So you gotta have accountability partner. You gotta have friends, people in your corner that are behind you 100%, that are pushing you, dragging you, but making sure you accomplish those goals at the end of the day.
If you got a coach, let us know. If you got a coach for anything, let us know what you got a coach for. One person that I will mention, and he's not really an official coach, but he's helped us grow so much over the last couple of years, is my big homie Sean Simmons, man. If I'm finna give him a shout out.
Coach Simmons.
Coach Simmons, man, he do insurance. He got Jake's Restaurant in Hoover. Man, that guy is a wealth of knowledge, and he just poured into us all the time.
And not that he had to, just because he's just as much as a giver as we are, and he just felt the need, and just did it. So definitely shout out to Sean. Yeah. I would say Sean is definitely a major influence in our life.
Let me know, do you like the food at Jake's? Go on, if you done had Jake's before in Hoover, go on and drop that in the chat. Let me know. Good. All right.
One thing that I found to be really helpful that you got to have an accountability. Absolutely, Tanya.
She got an accountability coach. Great job.
Good job. Definitely.
Great job.
One thing that I found to really be helpful is you have to speak. You have to speak positivity into your life. Yes, but let's go to lunch.
Hey, don't say it too loud, man. You know that's my weakness, man. You can't do that. You can't do that to me. You can't do that to me, Yas. You know I'm gonna go over there.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, I don't do that to me.
So listen.
Still sound good right now, boy.
We'll find out if they have some still available before we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you got me sidetracked.
I don't even know what I was gonna say. So one thing that has been working good, and you have to make sure that you are speaking positivity into your life. You're speaking words of affirmation into your life, because what you speak is literally what appears. If you have negative thoughts going on in your head, negative things are going to happen. If you have positive thoughts going on around your head, going on around your day, and you're just constantly speaking it and speaking life into your situation, speaking life into your future, speaking life into your kids, speaking life into your husband, your family, your wife, then things will happen and it will be outside of your control. So what we've started in my house is every morning we've been listening to words of affirmation. And those words of affirmation are to really set the tone before you go to school. You know, I am more than a conqueror. I am ready to manifest an abundant life for myself. I can do all things. I am a giver. I am smart. I am brilliant. And it's so funny, like listening to you, watching your kids and seeing them. And it's like, you guys, we're going to have a wonderful day. Absolutely. We're going to have an amazing day because they're believing it, they're seeing it. And when you see them, it's just so much better. And it doesn't matter if something does go wrong, you know that it could have been worse and it's only going to get better.
All right. So I'm going to check some of y'all right now. So don't be mad at me. Just love me a little later. One thing that I see people have issues with is how they view situations. You are either a half full or a half empty type of person. If something happens, you automatically think the worst of the situation. But I am a half full type of guy. If something bad happens, I am always looking for the good in it and always trying to find out how do we build on it. I talked to a guy this morning and he's telling me about, hey, I had a divorce. Hey, it was the worst thing ever. I had this, I had that. But to me, all I heard was, you finna have a hell of a comeback story, boy. Like, that's all I heard. I didn't even hear the negative stuff he was telling that happened in his life. I'm just telling him, hey, look, you're going to be on somebody's stage one day telling this story from divorce to hundreds of properties to all this stuff going on, and telling him that. You can tell, even though we was texting, you can tell it touched him because that's the type of person I am. I hear the bad, but I don't even let it faze me. I'm always uplifting. I'm always looking at the positive that's going to come out of that situation.
A lot of times when you tell Tony the bad, he'll laugh, and then it reminds you, like, I guess it might be a little funny. Okay, let me check myself. What am I complaining about? And so Antonio's absolutely right. He is the type of person. Tara says, and your kids hold you accountable when they are affirmed. Yes. They do.
They do. And you don't like it all the time.
You might not like it, but they'll remind you.
Up the right way.
Yes, they'll remind you, Mommy, you said, this is what you said we are. This is what we're going to have. So I need you to pick that face up because today is going to be an amazing day.
Yes, totally agree.
All right, you guys hit us with some questions. We've been telling you some things that we put in our head, what we feed ourselves, how we feed our souls, how we feed our intellect so that we can go, what are you doing right now? Or what questions do you have or struggles that you're dealing with that you want us to help you with?
Yes. So this is for you guys. This gives us energy, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Talking to y'all, seeing the transformation in people's lives, that gives us energy. So understand that. Understand that this is for y'all.
All right. So Chad put, what was your biggest problem when getting your first property and how did you get past it? All right. First property was
the two-piece.
The two-piece Steiner. The same day. I don't consider both of them. All right. So we can talk about Dwell.
All right.
We can talk about all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll go about first two.
Dwell, we bought 2 houses from an auction the same night, sight unseen. All we did was ride by it. We thought one house came with a car, so we were getting it for Antonio's sister because she was in college, and we thought we just got a free car for Cece. That car did not come with that house. It was next door neighbor's car. One challenge was it was a lot of water in that house in the basement, and we could not figure out how to get that doggone water out the basement. And it was something as simple as a sump pump.
And like, we ain't talking about like ankle water. We talking about waist water. Like, so, and keep in mind, now, this is our first house. So we're like, what the hell did we just buy? How are we supposed to buy a house that's got a basement full of water?
Who are we going to get to live in this? Right.
So, man, it was crazy. I would say that was one challenge. The other property bought.
We did not know that it was really a burnout property. It wasn't bad, but we didn't know what a burnout property was. We had purchased education, but we didn't purchase it on the rehabbing of the house. It was more so on wholesaling and finding deals, but not actually on what does it take to
what does it even look like?
Rehab a house. We didn't do none of that.
I bought a Home Depot book after the fact, though.
Home Depot, which is like old school YouTube. That was old school YouTube. So the biggest problem with that was we kept painting the walls, right? And once it dried, it'd be like gray again. And we're like, "What dog? What's going on?" So we kept killing and painting the walls.
We weren't killing it. We was just painting.
But the first set was killing, and then it was paint. So then we said, you know, we're going to paint it red because it's not going to come back from red. As we developed more, we realized there was smoke damage in the house, and we didn't even know it because we were such rookies in the game. We ended up living in that house. We ended up renovating it while we stayed in it. We paid ourselves rent while we were in it so that we can build up our cash flow. And then we rented out the other one with the waist high water to one of Antonio's college classmates.
Yep.
And we sold both of them. One we owner financed to the renter. And then the other one we sold with the tenant to a guy that lived in Colorado.
I'll say one thing about that, Chad. We're a little different, man. We are head first, knock it out, get information, but we're about action. So we just went, we just did it. And it was like, let's make it happen.
Everything does not have to line all the way up, okay? A lot of people I talk to, everything has to line up. No, everything does not have to line all the way up. You should get as much understanding as you can, but you got to get off the sidelines and
take action.
You're going to fail. Okay. It's okay to fail. Like, you're going to bounce back. But what you can't do is regret that you ever took action. You have to take action.
We're going to go to the second one that say balance. But one thing also to say, Chad, about that is I had a plan. Well, we had a plan. And the plan was, whatever house they don't bid on, we gonna get it
that night.
That night, we walking out of here with a house.
One house.
We coming out of here with a house. I don't care. We gonna walk out of here with a house.
Y'all, this is Antonio. Okay, we got one. Okay, sold. All right. What are you doing? We're supposed to have one.
The second one was, I remember like it was yesterday. The second one was the car. I was like, we got to get the car. We got to get one with the car. So we bought two in one night. I mean, I ain't going to sit and tell you what we was doing, man. We just head first. We had a vision, and we knew we had to take action.
Yep.
So that's kind of with us.
All right. So Hamilton Simone says balance. So how do we balance? I know people love this word balance, but I am here to tell you guys there is no such thing as balance, because whatever you spend your time on, something is going to lack. All right. So if you are focusing so much on your business, then at home is going to lack. Something is going to lack, whether it's you're not going to be able to wash the clothes. You're not going to be able to cook dinner every night. Something is going to lack. You might not be able to show up to all of their events. You may not be able. What are some things at work that?
And I agree with everything Ashley said. There is no balance, but there is structure.
There's structure.
So don't get it confused with no balance and structure. I can tell you our structure is, we work Monday through Friday most of the time until about 4:30-ish, 5. But after that, it's kids' time. Mm-hmm. So we understand that once we pick them up, we are trying to give them all of our attention. It's not getting no phone call, talking no contract. It's not paying for no orders. It is kid time. Until they go to bed, it's kid time. Now, when they go to bed,
it's our time.
Back to our time. And our time usually consists of watching TV, doing a little light work, something small, something of that nature.
Or preparing everybody for the next day, because we have 5 kids. So sometimes our time consists of, all right, let's move the clothes from the washer to the dryer. All right, let's make sure we got enough clothes out and we got enough snack out so that in the morning it's easy breezy and not a hassle.
And I will say for us, we spend a lot of time together too, kind of doing that 9 to 5. So we'll go to the movies together by ourselves. We go to lunch all the time. Don't tell nobody. We go to lunch all the time together. So to us, that's our love language. That's how we communicate with each other. That's how we show each other love. That's how we spend time with each other. I understand it don't necessarily take, that's a whole nother one. We're going to talk about love language. I understand it don't take jewelry to make my wife happy.
Right.
She likes that stuff. She wear that stuff. She adores that. What we want is time.
So
what she really wants is to sit down and talk to me. But that's all. That's what really makes her happy. So I understand that.
And for guys, it's different. It's like, I've been around you all day. Like, what else do we have to talk about? But for a woman, it's, I need to know details. Yes. But for a lot of women, I need to know details. I want to know. After I'm being nosy, just that's just how my brain operates.
Yeah, so that's kind of our balance. And we ain't telling you it's right. That's our structure. It ain't balanced because at any given time, it can kind of deviate, and you got to get back to that structure.
And I think that's important. You have to really have the mindset that if things change, it doesn't just totally ruin whatever you had going on. You just got to quickly change with it.
The other part is weekends. Weekend is family time.
Yes.
That's kid time. You're really going to see us do a live, a webinar, a training, because we understand that is family time, that is kid time, that's our time to make sure they're getting their attention.
And how quickly will they remind us?
Yes, they will.
This Saturday, I'm sure at least 2 of them will be in here when we go live. I'm sure.
And sporadically, we'll do a live on a Saturday, but they with us, they watching, they learning, and most of the time, once
they
we get done with that live,
afterwards.
We're going to CC's, we're going to the
jump park.
We're doing something fun as a family. Mm-hmm. So to answer that balanced question, I hope that answered as much as possible. But you got to have a good spouse too, and your spouse got to be on the same page with you.
And I don't think it always has to be with balance with your spouse, but balance period, so that you're not overloading yourself with too much work or too much kids or too much of anything. Make sure that you have some time in there dedicated for self. Make sure that you at least try to do it. It's hard, but just put it on the calendar and make it available.
All right, those got them 2 questions. You cut off Instagram.
But you kept moving it.
You gonna blame it on me?
I am. Don't put me on the spot like that.
Here. Well, I think I'm ready to cut this by short because that Jake show sounds good right now.
You have a 2:30 meeting.
I mean, we can take that.
You're absolutely welcome. You're absolutely
no problem,
welcome.
Miss Hamilton. No problem.
Any other questions?
Let me say this real quick.
Okay.
If I messaged you, thank you for the feedback. One of the feedbacks that we got from doing these was we don't tell people enough what we're doing. And we was like, we don't like selling stuff. We're not salesmen. We don't like really pitching that type of stuff. But the feedback was you at least got to put it out there. So 2 things that we're going to put out there is we're having a conference January 27th and 28th. There are some buy one, get one free tickets left, not many. Conference is really almost sold out, to be transparent with you. I should have got a bigger venue, but anyways, that's by my limited beliefs. But we're doing a conference. Also, we are real estate coaches. We have X Flipper Academy. If you're looking to get into your first investment property, we can help guide you to that destination. If you're looking to grow your portfolio, we can help you with that too.
Absolutely. So the conference, Antonio didn't really expound on it.
I still didn't do a good job.
You still didn't.
I'm so sorry.
The conference, Antonio really didn't expound on it. So the conference is on Friday. It's a meet and greet where you get to meet and see who's going to be in the room. You get to talk and really just network. And then on Saturday, it's an all-day event where we're going to show you we're going to take you through our whole playbook that day. So we're going to show you how we find the deals, how we fund the deals, how we rehab the deals. We're going to bring in we're going to bring in a marketing coach. We are going to bring in our rehab expert. Rowdy's going to be there to really talk about rehabs and understanding your KPIs, your key performance indicators. We are going to have someone to talk about taxes, where you can have your taxes ready on the front end so that you are literally not playing catch up at the end of the year, or it's tax time and you're like, ooh, I owe Uncle Sam so much. No, he's going to really show you how you can enjoy life while still investing in real estate, still having your business, and still minimizing your tax risk. Cody is going to be at the property. We're literally doing property walkthroughs. We're having a bus tour, and Cody's going to be showing us. Cody was on yesterday. Shout out to Cody. Cody is going to be showing
from
Timberline Inspection what to look for when you're investing in a property. What are some hazards that when you have a home inspection where the buyer is getting ready to buy, that home inspectors will throw up a red flag so that you know to add it into your budget and that you can be cautious of.
If you got questions, ask your question while we're doing this talking now. So
absolutely. Latanya said, how do you become a part of X Flipper? I would say set up a 15-minute call with us.
Send us a DM.
Send us a DM and let's set up a 15-minute call and we'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
Hamilton said, I will have all the questions then. Yes, make sure you get your tickets. Make sure you're there because it's going to really be fun. And then you get to pick our brains. Like, it's going to be all day of, by the time you leave out of there, you're ready to go.
You ready.
Like, you are literally ready to go. We're going to give you everything you need so that you can fly. And it's going to be a fun event while doing it. Chad put, how do I join X Flipper Academy? Chad, you've been talking to Antonio. Send Antonio a DM. And what he'll do is he'll send you a calendar link so you can book a 15-minute call with us.
Man, that's just how bad I am with that type of stuff, man. Like, I've been talking to Chad about 3-4 weeks constantly. He don't even know how to join my coaching program. I'm going to do better, though. This is the first step of doing better.
Absolutely. So, you guys, we can't wait to see you. It's going to be on 280 at the Hilton. That's the Hilton, right? Hilton Grandview. Doubletree Grandview.
I don't know. That's y'all job.
It's going to be at the Doubletree Grandview. The 27th and the 28th. Make sure you get your tickets. You can get it from Eventbrite. It's called the Simple Sexy Flipping Conference. Yes, good job. All right. We love you guys. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, drop them in. We'll be happy to answer them. If you're watching it as a replay, make sure you still drop your questions. We'll still be happy to answer them.
Go to join we got a Facebook group also, REI Live.
REI Live Birmingham.
REI Live Birmingham. Go join our Facebook group.
It's absolutely
free. We got
free.
some stuff going on. It's absolutely a free group, so go join that.
Absolutely.